Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me, because I don't know if you can hear me. You should be able to. Anyway, me and Yop have teamed up for this one.
Hello.
So, it's been quite a while since I've actually made a recording that is a recording. It's quite a
What?
convoluted setup we have going
Wait,
on. Well,
hold on. You didn't make a recording that isn't.
no,
That
I meant a video, an video upload that wasn't an MML or something.
I don't know
It's
if
been a
you know
while.
what you said. What you said.
Did I say
Yeah,
it's been a
you
while
said.
since I made a
Hold on.
recording that was a recording? Great job,
Yeah,
me.
something like that. You said like, I in a long time I didn't make a recording. That's a recording. I was like, what? Huh? What do you
Way
mean?
to start something.
Okay.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Anyway,
What matters is
this little thing here. And then you guys are probably wondering, what do you mean by that? We have a microbit. I guess Notch can explain what that is.
yeah. So I was gonna go on a crazy 5-minute rant about talking about things that have been going on.
You do that.
Part of the reason why I haven't made any uploads, and this is probably
Yeah.
not going to change. In fact, I am very glad I can actually have enough time to record this right now. Anyway, we are going to be spending some time talking about something that
Sorry, I will stop messing with the buttons.
I've never talked about before because, well, none of us have owned it, but also because it's a new thing. Well, at least new for us.
For us.
So, the original backstory with this started with cheap noise, believe it or not, as it very often does, actually, because cheap noise was the one who introduced me to this thing. Originally, it was about 2 years ago, the first time, and at one point, sometime in the fall, a month or two ago, no, it was like 2 or 3 months ago now, I had this idea of trying to learn more about it, see what I could figure out. So now it comes the time for us to kind of figure out together what the BBC microbit is. So
Also,
the
I really
microbit-
hope, for Notch, I really hope you set it up everything the right way, because if you do it, we need to do it all over.
Yeah, I hope so too. So,
But okay.
the microbit, for all intents and purposes, can be thought of as a tiny programmable
Little
board.
motherboard. Think of a little motherboard. It has 2 buttons. It has an LED grid in the middle, a 5x5 red LED grid. It has a little logo above that, which you can touch. And it has a few pins at the bottom. Those are like little, yeah, what are they?
The pins
Are those
look
that
very
holes?
odd. There's
Or are
little
those-
connection points that you might be able to plug stuff into if you had expansions, but also you can use these to touch as well if you set it up the way in which they need to be set up for touch to work.
And then it has
so there's
a microphone.
there's buttons, there's buttons,
It has a microphone,
a speaker,
a temperature
an
sensor,
accelerometer,
an accelerometer, and
a compass.
compass, and the
There's a lot
speaker.
of things
Oh wait, I already said
built
that.
into this thing.
A reset button for if it dies, or if you had
Or
a
if you want
code
to turn
that
it off.
didn't really do what you want, or if you want to turn it off, you can hold it. You can power it by battery. There's like this little battery pack thingy with a cable. But you can also power it through micro USB. I was gonna say USB-C. That's not right.
I wish.
Yeah.
There were actually 2 hardware revisions of the microbit. The first version, the microbit V1, had less things. It didn't have a speaker or a mic, and I think it didn't have a few other things either. The microbit V2 added those things, and those are the boards that we have.
That's this little guy here. It's tiny.
By the way, for anyone who hasn't seen one of these boards are some of the thinnest things, some of the thinnest pieces of electronics I think you will ever feel. It is absolutely thin. The only protrusions you'll actually really feel are the buttons on the front, the speaker on the back, and the part that...
Sorry about that.
Hey there, Apple Watch.
That's
The
my
part
watch.
that connects the battery holder, which also is slightly raised up. The board itself is sort of rectangular in shape, but it doesn't quite look fully symmetrical. There's a lot of really odd protrusions everywhere because of how all the stuff needs to be arranged. The buttons are flanking the light grid, so there's one button on the left, that's called A, and there's another button on the right, that's called B. The touch logo is kind of facing away, and the pins are facing further closer to you, sort of like on the bottom of the unit. The close to the logo on that sort of shorter rectangular side, no, longer rectangular side is the battery connector and the USB-C connector. And then on the back is pretty much all the other sensors, as well as the reset button. And you can hear Yelp messing with the buttons, because the buttons are fun.
Oh yeah, I was having fun because we are actually in stereo. And I figured out if I hold it close to my thing, you can kind of tell which button I'm pressing.
Oh, really? Oh, you're right. Hold on.
It's left and right.
Let me try that.
Just hold it like... There you go.
Huh.
Sorry, I was having a
Interesting.
little fun with that in the meantime.
The battery box is connected with a short wire, and it takes 2 AAAs. Hopefully, if you get the microbit in a kit, kind of like the way that we did, you will get the battery box with it. But you can also find the microbit just by itself as the board, which I don't
Little
really recommend
warning for you, Notch, and for the viewers. My team tech on my phone is really weird. So sometimes, like
mean
that
the thing it'll,
happened a
like,
few
randomly throw you
seconds
out?
ago, I cut out. I couldn't hear anything. You guys can't hear me for like 10 seconds, and then I would just jump
Oh.
back in. I have that problem since a few days, so I don't know what's up with that. But so you know, if I'm talking and I'm randomly cut off, you know.
Okay. Okay, so now that we've described what the thing is, you're probably wondering, why are we even bringing this up? What's the point? What can you do with it? Well,
The question
the
is,
answer to that is
a lot. Oh, the same thing. Yeah, you could do a lot. You can start really simple, because the way, okay, I can, I guess, explain the way you will code this.
Yeah.
You can, the way we do it is connected via micro USB to the computer, and there's an online Python editor, completely accessible, that has auto completion, specialized for the microbit. And then you also, oh wait, yeah, that by the way allows you to write code and also flash it, so download it to your microbit. And it has this little documentation thing, so you can also kind of learn from it. And you also have another possibility, and that's make code. It's slightly less accessible, and that allows you to do it with Python, blocks, and I think JavaScript.
Basically, the way the Make Code Editor works is that it's most commonly used with a block interface where you drag stuff around and you change.
Yeah.
Okay, if anyone's ever messed with iOS shortcuts, it's kind of like that, kind of,
Yes.
to a point.
Good
Comparison, yeah.
Comparison.
But it's a lot more visual. The thing is, though, you can then turn the resulting blocks code into JavaScript or Python, but those implementations are different. They have different like ways of calling things, and the APIs are completely different. Well, not completely, but mostly different. So I prefer not to use mate code myself. By the way, the microbit
Whoa.
foundation,
Sorry. My
which is kind
headphones
of
were
like
calibrating noise cancelling. They made it
oh,
sound really weird. For a bit.
the microbit foundation is in charge of making the MicroPython part, the editor, as well as the code that actually runs on the microbit itself to execute your Python code. But it also, I think, has parts of the mate code editor interface in the thing as well, as well as a bunch of other kinds of programs that I don't even really know how to get into. But the main ways that you code the microbit is with these two ways.
Sorry,
Basically, you
shaking.
connect it to your computer, or the mate code way also allows you to do it through Bluetooth on your phone.
There's an iOS app. And an
There's
Android,
an
I guess,
iOS and
too.
an Android app.
Yeah.
But
That's what I first
because
used.
of our
Until Notch
unfamiliarity
helped me
with
with the Python thing.
yeah, because of the how like unfamiliar I am with the blocks interface and how slightly inaccessible it is, we've decided to kind of abandon that. The microbit can do Bluetooth, but it's limited, and the Python implementation doesn't allow you to use it for pretty much anything.
Yeah.
So basically, the main reason why I wanted to get one of these things was because Cheap Noise, when he introduced me to it like 2 years ago, he talked about the kinds of random scripts he made with it. He used the blocks interface to do it. And I was already very fascinated because he showed me, I think, one or two of them, and I was like, wow, this is insane. I wish I could do this too. And eventually, when I figured out exactly how the interface worked, and also when I figured out that the Python editor has a simulator which allows you to test your code before you flash it, which makes it very helpful when you're debugging, that basically sealed the deal for me because I was like, this will be the first thing that I'll actually get to program that I'll have
I
a
should
lot
turn
more
on
control
silent mode.
over. Yes, you really should.
Hold on a second.
Alert. iPhone. Flat. Focus. Theater. Water level.
Where is it?
Ping up. 80. Flashlight. Water. Silent mode. On.
There we go.
Device shenanigans. That happens sometimes.
That happens, especially to me. I usually forget to turn those things off.
What
But
was I
okay,
talking
never mind.
about?
You were talking about that you got, like, okay, I want one now because, you know, that's a simulator.
Oh yeah, that's right. The main reason is because I've always wanted to do programming, but I was really like overwhelmed with all the things that you needed to learn to make any kind of thing on the computer that was at all, I don't know how to explain, but like I was always, I had a bunch of ideas in my head of like random things I could make, but I could never really formulate them. Of course, for the people who know me, they might know that I've had AIs help me make Python scripts, but really the only thing that those do are helping me in
Doing
doing
stuff
other
for
things. Yeah.
basically.
So this is quite different because the microbit, like really the main purpose of the microbit is to learn how to program. It was originally invented by the BBC, or maybe not invented, but it was at least, I don't know, it was like used to a point. I'm not sure how many education systems around the world, especially in the UK, ended up using it. But the whole point of it was to kind of get children into the habit of learning how to program. and I think it does it pretty well, especially with a blocks interface, and how inexpensive a single board is.
It's only like 20. For us, it was like 20.
I think we had to spend more than that, like 35. But I mean,
I
it
spent
doesn't
20 on
matter.
mine. But yeah. No, whatever.
Yeah, so I've had my board since Christmas, but I've actually been working on a program for it before then, and I've also been helping Yop because Yop's had one for a bit longer than me. He got his in the beginning of December. It was quite an interesting story, actually.
How mine went is, when I heard that Notch was getting into the microbit, I was like, I kind of want to experience one again. So I
Because he's
took
already
an action.
experienced one before.
Yes,
They
a long
used to
time
have
ago.
them in the school.
So I took action. I went to my ICT slash like computer and technology teacher, let's say it that way. And she knows everything about like cool stuff that has to do with programming and that kind of stuff. And I asked, hey, can I maybe borrow a microbit so I can mess with it? And I got one. And that one is actually still here. Except I was thinking of returning it back because I have my own now. And then I was testing stuff for Notch, and then I was just like, okay, I really want one now. So we
Yep,
kind of
exactly.
both was like, we're like, yeah, okay, I'm going to buy one because it's cool.
What really draws me to the microbit is that because of how limited you have, like limited control you have over. Okay, it's limiting in some ways, but also not limiting in others. So the flavor of Python that is built into this can do a lot of things that Python on like a computer can, but there's a few things that it cannot do, which honestly, okay, it might make things really, really annoying if you're looking at source code and you're expecting, for example, I believe this version of Python, or at least as far as I can tell, doesn't have anything in its documentation about using classes. So there's no classes, no decorators, stuff like that. Which is why
what the hell these are.
I am pretty much clueless as it comes to how to do those yet, because I just haven't needed to learn how to use them. I'm very much a beginner programmer when it comes to this stuff, so much so to where pretty much anyone can make the stuff that I've been making, but it's a start. And
You need to start somewhere.
exactly, which is that's the whole point. That's why I wanted to get one of these, because you have to work in the limitations, but you can do a lot of things within those limitations. I'll also say here that the memory in this thing, there's apparently 64 kilobytes of memory. I have never filled in all of that memory. The only thing I've been able to fill in is the code size. The first program that I ever built for the thing ended up being way too big, so the USB thing wouldn't even be able to flash it.
I guess
So
you
I
can
have
flash
to
it on
shrink it.
there later on to see what you did.
Hmm.
Maybe.
I wonder, now that we're talking about that, there's a couple of programs that I made for this thing, and some of which I actually helped Yop make. What do you think
There are
we
some
should
that
show?
I think to get a good idea of the microbit, we should actually load on your playground because that shows a lot of the features you can do.
Okay, good idea.
I guess I can. Do you want me to do that? Or
Would it be okay if I did that? Because
sure.
it's kind of my first ever script that I ever made.
That makes sense.
Okay, so
We
for
can do
this,
that. It's fine.
I'm going to now be able to hear myself. And I'm going to have to use my computer. And you guys can follow along because you can hear my computer. So, first let's turn the rate down.
45.
And first step, find the microbit. Second step, disconnect the battery because I'd rather not have the USB and the battery connected at the same time. I'm not sure if it's dangerous or not.
I will say no. Sometimes your internet slide like going like this. Not really.
No.
Not really.
Really?
But I will say in the video you will just sometimes feel like a little like or something like some weird. But
Next,
it's not too bad. It's really minimal.
let's connect the microbit to micro USB.
That sounds
And once I
fun.
do that,
Connecting a microbit to micro USB. Fits well together. Oh, you have that on.
the microbit has just now powered on. Because every single time you connect it, it will think that you want to turn it on, so it starts running the script that you programmed onto it. I'm going to leave it alone for now.
And
I just dropped mine. I'm sorry for that.
And I have the microbit Python editor loaded. By the way, to get to this, literally all you need to do is you simply go to
https://python.microbit.org/v/3 http.
So
To what?
python.microbit.org/v/3. If you search for microbit Python editor, this is the first result you're going to get. This is the official newest release for the Python editor. And in here, you can do a lot of things. You can edit the code, you can flash the code, and you can replace it with something else, which is what I'm planning on doing now. So let's do that. I'm going to find the open button.
More save option open.
And I'm going to find... excuse me. I'm going to find the file.
Compiled.
No,
Microbit
that's a little
playground.txt.
bit of a cold, so.
Yes, I'm recovering from a cold. Microbit playground.hex. So
Hex files are basically, I just see them as like, I know if you ever experienced a Mac, maybe a .app file can be compared to that.
That's an
Slightly?
interesting comparison. I think it's more like a .exe,
Yes.
because it's a standalone
EXE for
application,
microbit.
really.
Because you can save it as a, no, actually no, that's not what, no, I'm saying that wrong. You can save your projects that you make a MicroPython as a hex file. That's basically a microbit program. That's a hex.
Think of a hex file as a way to store your program and also recall it at will, but also you can do this without even using the editor whatsoever. I'm using the editor right now, but you don't need to. Basically, it doesn't matter which editor you were using to make this hex file. Both MakeCode and the MicroPython editor will write hex files. They don't just contain the program, but they also contain, like, the way to interpret the program, so to speak. That's why they're so big. A hex file is actually multiple, like a 1.5 meg, I think. Which is weird because the flash on the microbit is only 512 kilobytes, so I'm not sure what goes on with that. Anyway, I'm going to press enter on this to load it, and it's going to ask me what I want to do with it, because you can technically... Well, no, because it's a hex file, it's not going to, never mind. That would be if I were to load in a Python script instead.
Space. Micro::bit Python editor. Brave. Confirm replace project.
Oh, confirm replace project. Okay, it does ask me. Yes,
Replace.
I'm sure. Yes.
Loaded microbit playground.txt. No.
And because of how hex files are designed, the editor is still able to recall the code that was used to make it, So now I can actually look at it, but I don't want to look at it, I want to flash it. So I'm going to
Edit
now
sidebar L.
find
Project more connect save. Send to micro:bit.
send to micro::bit button. By the way, microbit is always visually represented as micro::bit.
Python.microbit.org wants to connect.
And this is where the USB thing comes in. So because I've plugged in my microbit, it has recognized it, and it's now going to ask me which device I want to connect to.
Compatible devices. BBC micro::bit CMSIS app paired.
Which is this
BBC
one.
micro::.
So once I press enter to flash the code, it's going to take a couple of seconds. The first time you ever flash anything with MicroPython onto the microbit, it'll take a little bit longer because it needs to flash the environment as well, like the part that handles the code, like the Python interpreting process. Okay, let's press enter now and let's hope there's no errors, because there's a few errors that can happen sometimes with the USB.
Micro::bit Python editor. USB device connected. Brave. Web USB error. Please follow these steps.
There we go.
Oh, web USB error. Great.
Close. Close. Edit.
Oh well.
Let's try to do this a few
Project
more
header. Edit project
times.
name. More connect save. Send to mic.
Reconnect it first.
Yep, I might have to disconnect it and reconnect it. Hold on.
Web USB error. Please follow these steps. Then try again. Unplug the USB cable. Edit.
Again.
The connection of the microbit into micro USB is a little bit fiddly sometimes. There we go.
Well, that noise
My
is not a
NVDA is,
microbit noise. That's part of the script that's currently loaded.
Yep.
Just
Re-
for
re-
people who are
re-
wondering.
The microbit doesn't normally make any noise. I had it make a noise based
Game
on one of the scripts that were
Micro-
loaded in.
More connect up.
Why
Send to
is
mic.
this not
Connect.
working?
Pipe. Compact. BBC.
I don't
Micro::bit
have
Python.
issues, but I should do that maybe after the
Project
video.
action. Send to micro::bit.
Hey, there we go. Okay, before it goes insane, I'm going to disconnect it from USB and connect it to batteries instead. So, now you get to hear exactly what this thing can do. This was my first script, and therefore it's a little bit weird around the edges, but I'll attempt to show you how it works. First of all, oh, shut up. Why is it always doing that? Hold on, let me see if I can figure out. No, it doesn't work. I think I might have broken it or something. Okay,
Just
let me explain.
Release the logo when you hear the noise.
I did.
If you hold it
I
for
did.
too long, it goes. Oh, you did. Oh, and that.
There we go, finally.
There you go.
Okay, so let me explain. This script was made so that I can familiarize myself with programming, and originally my plan was to kind of make a framework with like how I'm going to make future programs. That didn't turn out to be how I wanted to make more programs. You'll see why. A big reason why is because of the speech. So basically, the script itself is just a set of tests. It's basically a way for me to practice how to use the different sensors and things, and for me to actually not just practice how to use them, but also practice, on the microbit itself, figure out how they work. But also it was an exercise in kind of making a menu structure, and because of the fact that there's barely any inputs, I did some other stuff, one of which being speech. So now I'm going to go right up close so you can actually hear this thing in action.
Further that notch, so just to make sure that everyone can hear you, did you change your audio device on Gold Wave to the loopback?
Of course I did. If I didn't, then
Okay, yeah.
this would be
I
completely
just ask
useless.
anyway because maybe you're like me, maybe you're not sure, and you're like, oh.
I specifically checked before. So
Okay, fine.
let's press reset, and it's going to It's going to say
let's
main
press A.
menu. Oh yeah, I can press A because I coded the sleep thing in. That's right. Hello. That was not A, that was B. Okay, so this part is kind of buggy. So basically, it thought that I wanted to already move around in the menu. So basically, you can press A to scroll through the menu items, and every time you do that, you hear a different tone. And if you wait for long enough, it'll tell you what the item is. So in order they are gesture test, light and temperature test,
Light and temperature test.
compass test, which I don't even want to go into because that part is kind of difficult.
And why is
Microphone test, sound effect test,
It has built-in sound effects that's like
and music test.
Same with music.
Yeah, there's
and
a
the reason
couple
why
of
we don't want to
built-in
go into the
sounds.
compass is you need to calibrate it, and the way you do that is you basically need to fill the entire screen. There's like this little dot that's going on off, on off, on off, on off. And
Why?
you move it by moving the microbit around. And your goal is
Sorry, I'm having trouble trying to get it to go to sleep again.
Your goal is to get the whole screen full. But if you're blind, you can't really see. For one, when the tutorial text is done in the beginning. For two, what you haven't cleared and what you have cleared. And three, where that little dot is. And
I'm gonna turn
four,
this off.
if you wait for too long, it will do the tutorial text again, or some sort of text. So it's kind of really hard if you're blind. Maybe impossible, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, believe me, I tried like tilting it every which way, and of course it didn't finish because I probably didn't complete it fully.
I can show that part if you want, but yeah, we don't necessarily need to. I think.
No, I don't think so. So, basically, the thing I was trying to get it to do was to go to sleep. There is a thing you can do where you can have the microcontroller kind of be in a state where it just waits for you to press a button to continue executing. There's a command for that. But because of the way I did the timers, and by the way, timing is a really annoying thing to do in because of the fact that the microbit doesn't really have much of a way of doing timers internally. So I had to work around that too, which is why it constantly keeps breaking, and it always wakes up right as soon as it goes to sleep because it's thinking I'm holding the touch logo for longer than I actually am. Also, you might have heard it go into system menu. Let me show you what's in there. If I touch the logo now, it'll go to the system menu. There's 5 items in here, as you can hear by the 5 beeps, and in here you can do these things. Set volume, and by the way, don't be fooled. I'm holding this thing up to the mic, and it's really, really quiet normally. Set speech rate. This is one thing that I am kind of proud of, is the fact that you're able to change the rate globally. Speak hints on. This, as I figured out, doesn't actually work as well as I wanted it to. If you turn it off once, you can never turn it on again.
Oh.
And recalibrate compass, which does exactly what it says. Basically, the compass test for some reason doesn't lose its calibration state for a long time, so it thinks that it's been calibrated and it'll work for a long time. So if you ever want to recalibrate it, you can do that. Okay, let me just really quickly. Let me just quickly stop here. Oh yeah, there is one more. That's simply just this. Return to previous menu.
Oh.
To activate an item, you press B instead of A, and it'll play the tone on the same pitch that you heard when you selected it. Okay.
Alexa,
I'm going
turn all the
to
lights in garage on.
let's go to set speech rate so I can really quickly show you how this works. When you go in here, you can press A to make it, or B to make it. And you can do this for quite a while until it says fastest, at which point you can't go any further, and the other way around.
Can you actually go faster, or did you just
What
make
was
a limit?
that? I didn't even understand what it just said. Can you do what?
Can it go faster than that you let it go in the script?
Maybe a little bit, yes. Okay, if I wait for long enough... That's a hint. I programmed in hints into pretty much every single part of the thing so that it would kind of tell you what to do. I just touch the logo to get out of it. Now, if I wait in the main menu, it'll also give you a hint there, too. My point with the hints was if you were really stuck and you didn't know what to do, you could just wait and have the thing tell you. But in practice, sometimes it'll just start speaking and it will just never shut up. It's supposed to, but it doesn't quite work right.
For you, correction.
Yeah, apparently for me.
It works completely fine.
So let's go through some of these tests, shall we? So first is gesture test. By the way, all of the things that you're hearing the things say, I had to do all of that in phoneme code. You can also use simply just text, and I had to do that in the gesture test. The gesture test actually has the names of the predefined accelerometer gestures in a list, and you cycle through them and the thing will speak them like this. Select gesture. So now if I press A, it'll cycle through each one, and the first one is up. Basically, the way these work is if you hold the microbit to a specific angle. So in this case, up is when you hold it so that the micro USB and the battery is facing the sky. Down is the opposite. That's when the pins are facing up and the USB connector is facing the floor. Left is when the A button is facing the floor, and right is when the B button is facing the floor. By the way, if I wait here and listen to the hint, it should say something. Let's see. So the accelerometer's current strength, there's basically a value you can check which tells you roughly how fast the microbit is currently moving, which by the way is it's a really dumb thing that I had it press B to get that information. But anyway, you get a bunch of different numbers. Sam cannot speak numbers, it can only speak digits. So when you do this, you get something like this. 1034 or 973, I think it was. 503. Wait, what the? Oh, so basically it goes lower the more I shake it? Huh. No, it just said 353.
I think so.
I'm confused. I don't understand this number.
Where is my micro USB cable? Ooh,
Anyway, it doesn't matter as long as it does something. Next is the light and temperature test.
Yes. I gotta mute it quickly.
Stop.
Also look this on mine.
Stop it. It actually went to sleep when I didn't want it to. The light and temperature test. Oh, stop it. This thing is really, really sensitive on mine for some reason. There's a few things you can do in the light and temperature test. Holding A is the light test, which plays a tone. It's supposed to change pitch when there's light. Let's make there be light by turning on the flashlight. And now I'm shining the flashlight on it, and the closer I get, the higher the tone gets. So there's that. Let's make sure that the flashlight is not on anymore because I don't want it to be. And B tells you the temperature, which according to this thing is 24 degrees, 24 degrees. That sounds about right. The temperature sensor can actually detect things between -5 and... Yes, thanks for interrupting me, Sam.
I'm currently flashing in a mine.
Oh,
Too.
nice. So what was I? Yeah, the temperature sensor can read between -5 and 50 degrees Celsius. I don't know how much that is in Fahrenheit. 50 degrees Celsius would be over, like, probably like in between 100 and 150 somewhere Fahrenheit. It would be insane. And -5 is probably somewhere in the 20s.
50 degrees
Fahrenheit.
Celsius is 122 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, 122. Okay, never mind. So there's that. There's a bug with the light and temperature test where it forgets that, it remembers, rather, that I was pressing buttons, so it thinks that I wanted to press A and then also press B, so it automatically goes back into the gesture test by mistake. Next is the compass test. I don't want to do that right now. The microphone test is pretty self-explanatory.
I can do the compass test if you want.
The microphone test will react
In the
to
meantime,
noises.
you can do something. I'll calibrate it while muted.
So when you speak into it, it will make a noise. Also, I went a little bit too close to the touch logo, so I thought I touched it. The microphone test also has a sensitivity where you can press A and B to make it more or less sensitive. That part doesn't work, it's bugged. I'll just really quickly let you hear the hint for that too. Now that I'm here, I just need to make sure to be quiet or else it'll pick me up and reset the timer for the hint. I haven't heard that hint in a while. And then there's 2 more menu items. Let's go through those because they're kind of fun. Sound effect test first. So, in these, I didn't actually allow you to like have it speak the names. They have internal names. You have to reference them in different ways. I'm gonna have it speak the hint. I think I misspelled something there. Anyway, pressing A will just advance through the noises. And by the way, you'll notice that none of these noises are at all PCM. They're all generated in waves, which is one of the other things that kind of makes this thing charming to me. Let's go through them all. I don't remember the names, so I'll just go through them all. And by the way, some of these are very, very high frequency, so just be aware of that.
Should.
This one's my favorite. Oh, hey there.
Sorry,
Compass
I
Test.
have the compass calibrated. In the meantime.
I'll really quickly go through the sounds.
Alright. Also, what's
This
good to
one's
know,
really
sounds
weird.
are random. Sometimes
Every time
if
you play...
Oh, you idiot. So, hold on.
whenever you
Can
play...
I put my
Oh
microphone
no,
to
mine's
sleep or
talking
remember
now.
the calibration?
It'll remember the
so.
calibration for a very long time.
Should we play it again?
So
It will
every
be
time you
different,
play a
because the
noise,
sounds are
and
random.
it'll be different every time. This one's very different every time. I thought, at least, it was. Yep. This one's just painful.
Stop it! Oh, great. I just stepped on other candy from my dog. For context for the
And
viewers,
those are the
I was
noises.
spinning around and I knocked over a bottle with candies for my dog. That's why that happened.
Yep, Yelp did that. And finally, the music test. Actually, no, hold on. I'm going to see if I can get my thing to go to sleep. Of course it won't, because it's an idiot. There we go, finally. And I'll let you do the compass test, because you actually got the compass calibrated.
Okay. I had to do this closure somehow. So if I hold A. Oh. That sounds.
Sounds
If
very odd.
if I kind of spin it around, it will change the tone at our 300 degrees circle. So if I would stand up,
360 degrees.
that's what I said.
You said 300, not
I think.
360.
So I do until the hint is done. So I don't know if this will work, but if I would hold A and spin, it will go up because I'm spinning. Oh,
Yep,
Oh.
okay,
I just got up.
you're back. Sorry, took a while.
There you go.
Yeah, as you can hear, if you're only like a meter or two away from the mic, it is already really difficult to hear, and this is maximum volume.
Hold on, let me do this. Oh shoot. Hold on. I need to do some stuff here. There we go. I'm going to hold. How am I going to hold this?
It's already, well, it's still pretty far away.
Yeah, because I'm trying to. Okay, there
I
we
think
go. Oh,
there's no easy way, really, to make this work.
I got it. I think.
Really.
What did I just do? Oh, I pressed the wrong button.
You pressed B, and it was reading the
So
total,
I can spin around now.
magnetic strength. You know, it would be a very interesting,
It's a little bit broken.
yeah, the compass is apparently not the most reliable thing. What I'm wondering is,
Well, it was before when I didn't have my phone close to it. That was weird.
oh, if we got the compass calibrated, if I could make a script that just had to do with the magnetic field strength, I wonder what would happen if you were to put this thing close to a magnet. Would it go insane? we can't test that right now, but just a thought, you know, using more stuff as input. I actually had a really dumb idea of
Uh-huh.
if there were
Hold on, let
like
me quickly go.
a lot of
The
possible
system keeps talking.
options in a menu. I could have the compass like rotate around and you would spin, and depending on which part of the thing you were facing, it would like change the item you were selected on or you were focused on. But honestly, that is the most tedious thing I think I could ever have anyone suffer through, so I'm probably not going to do it.
I don't know how that's like, I guess, but
Yeah. Okay, music test then. Last part of this script, and the video is probably very long already, but this is the kind of the script that basically gives you the idea of all the things that it can do. The music is very
are we
primitive.
gonna do something after this?
Yes,
Or
I think we should, because I want to show at least one of the other scripts that we made, because I want to emphasize how this thing can be used as not just like a random programming learning tool, but also it's fun as hell.
should I flash the high and low?
Yes, please do. And I'm also going to do that
Okay, hold on.
as well.
I will mute then for a bit.
But first,
Music this time.
so the music that is built in is very primitive. Basically, there's
What does
a thing
primitive
that
mean?
you can do by, like, I don't know, like kind of,
Easily made.
yes. Wait, hold on. How's that possible? Anyway, it's just made of notes and rests at a solid volume, unlike the sound effects, which have volume curves and different wave types and things on them. And I think that might actually work. So if I do this, it stops, and you press it again,
It's
it
broken.
restarts.
Oh no, it's not. I thought that was broken.
Most of these are very self-explanatory, so I'll just go through them. This, I honestly have no idea how they managed to copyright and not, like, get away with it. And by the way, all of these are set at a fixed BPM. Also, this one's long enough to where the hint is, it keeps playing at the end.
Let's just hope you're not getting a copyright claim.
I won't. From a single tone square wave, I don't think so.
I hope not.
By the way, in case you're wondering, there are expansions and ways you can make the speaker on this thing louder. I just don't happen to have any of them because they cost a lot more than they should over here. Oh, shut up. The only thing that the main reason why I made the hints optional is because, as you can hear, if I press a button while it's speaking, it has to finish speaking before it can do my action. This one's like a 12-bar blues thing. if you ever wanted to wish someone happy birthday, you can do that through this thing. Oh, not again. Really?
Ah, that's funny.
It doesn't play the second half.
Oh my god.
We come to my favorite one. This next one's my favorite. And there's a few more that are more like sound effects, like this one. Oh, not this one. That.
Whoa,
Again,
my phone is still
Nintendo's gonna
100%.
sue everyone.
How's that possible?
Those are used more for
That's
like
it.
feedback, like happy or sad or whatever. I forget what they're actually called, and that's it. Now
And
I
there
need
you
to
go.
somehow
You have a
make
script
sure
that
that this thing
covers
is
almost
somehow,
all the features of the microbit.
Did my thing bug out? I think my thing bugged out. Yep, it crashed. That's a thing that this script very much likes to do, and there's a reason for that. It's because I did some really, 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 really terrible programming. I made some really bad decisions with how to do the programming on this, which caused the script to basically recurse itself into an infinite loop every single time you started one of the tests. You went into a menu, so every time you did that, it would like kind of start a new function, but it would never quit another one, and that basically meant that eventually the compiler will just not like the fact that there's so many functions inside of each other, and it'll throw an error. By the way, this program uses absolutely none of the LED grid aside from the compass calibration, which is a built-in part of the MicroPython thing. So I didn't really have any control over that. However, for pretty much every other microbit program, it's almost a necessity to have the screen to at least display something, because to be quite honest with you, no one is going to be expected, not even myself, is going to be expected to make sense of the speech at all times, especially if what it's saying is critical. So let's show you how things have changed. This script I made in December before I got mine, and the next one that Yop is going to show you, which I want to at least show this one, if not maybe one more. I know the video will get to be really, really long this way, but
I think this is the most interesting one.
Yes. This one
I don't think it's worth it to
made...
show one more. Well, this one, I mean, but then not one after that, because I don't know what could be better than this one.
Oh, there's one more that I think would be kind of cool.
Well, actually, yes, I think I know which one you mean. Your most recent.
The most recent one, yes.
But they mean.
Well, not the most recent one that I was the one that we were working on together. Anyway. Yes, that.
Okay.
This next one I was working on by the time I got mine, because of the fact that I figured out how really annoying it was to hear the speech. I abandoned the idea of having everything be speech controlled, so instead I had pretty much all of it be shown on the display in some way, which was not too hard to do considering the fact that there's a bunch of built-in images, just like there's built-in sound effects and music. And you can also make your own by basically specifying the brightness of each LED in the 5x5 grid by yourself, which was kind of fun to do.
And it helped really for me too.
Yeah,
Because I still
that's
have some
part of the
vision,
reason
Notch
why.
doesn't.
Also, there's built-in ways of having text like numbers and letters scroll on the screen, which is
Which I'm
also
actually
how the
playing with
compass
right now. I'm
calibration
holding the
works.
logo. That will show your score. You think like score? I will explain a bit.
Yeah.
If not, just I'm talking.
Well, there's not much else for me to say, so
Oh,
let's go.
so this script is called higher or lower. And basically, it's a game where you roll a dice. Get, for example, 2. And you need to guess. Is it higher or is it lower? If you guess right, if you press higher or lower, which you do with A and B, the left is lower. Oh, I cut off. A is lower, B is higher, and it will. Hey, alarm noise. It will roll a second dice, and if that dice is your choice, so if it's lower, then you hear a cool noise and you get a point. How many points was it?
Every 4 points.
Every 4 points, you will get an extra dice. So the maximum number will increase. My personal record is like 18 or 16. Or something insane.
I think it was 18, wasn't it? I don't remember.
I
Did I
think
get
so.
past 20? I got past 20 once. I remember. It was insane.
Did you? Okay. But basically, now I will see a heart. I'm going to press A. And what it will do, it will play random notes. And every time you hear a random note, it will randomize the display with a random number. Shown with just dots, like a real dice.
So
And
basically,
then,
the dots that you see kind of on the top of a dice face, it's like that,
Yes.
but in microbit pixels.
and then eventually, this random tone will just go like, it's going to like, or something. And then eventually just one note will just go, and that's where it stops randomizing. And then you hear like ding, 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 for example. So you're like 5 dings, or how many dings for how much you roll. There are 2 different kind of ding noises. You have a short ding, ding, that's 1, and a bang, that's 10. So let's say you got like 22, which you go bang, 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 bang,
Yep,
like a Simon
exactly.
or a Bop It. I don't know.
Well, Bop It would never do that,
Um,
but a Simon would.
Some Bop Its do.
Oh, you mean the original? Yes.
For example, yeah. So I'm gonna press A. Hold on, let me put my mic a
Good
little
luck.
bit closer first. Yeah, click A. I got only 1. I personally think that's way higher because there's nothing lower than 1. Also, the speed that it randomizes is faster, and I
Can you
got
put it
3.
even closer?
so
'Cause
that's high.
I can
Not
barely hear
really.
it.
Otherwise, you
Still.
will fall off the table.
Oh. Really?
Wait,
That's better. You got a 1
that's
again.
1 again, so I go higher. That noise means you rolled the same as before, so that's a reroll.
Yeah, it keeps re-rolling forever until the number is different from the first time.
5.
5.
So you go lower. And I got 5 again. And now I get 6, of course. And then this happens. You hear a fail noise. And then, that was the high score jingle. And after that, you hear the same way it would introduce a number. from a dice, except then with your points. So I had 3 things wide, so I had 3 points.
That was 2.
If I click, 2. If I click the logo, it will repeat my high score.
And it also displays
If I
some
do that
sort of
while
image
I'm
on the
playing-
screen while it does that.
Does it?
Yeah,
Yes, it does.
the touch logo is a multifunctional input in this script. So if you touch it when there's no game, it'll play your high score. If you touch it while you're just about to roll like something, it'll tell you your current score. And if you're in the process of selecting higher or lower, it'll tell you the dice total again. When it does that, by the way,
Yeah.
right before it beeps it out, it also scrolls it on the screen, except it's really fast. So it's kind of hard to tell. I think you should
Yeah.
go for at least a few more than 4. See if you can get that much luck.
I got 3. I hate
3
that.
and 4 are the most annoying numbers. Excuse me. Ah,
Yes, 2.
let's go.
6. Yay! So now you guys will hear maybe a familiar noise if you know Nintendo. Was it from Nintendo?
Yeah.
That noise means you will get an extra dice. So we can now have 12 instead of 6 maximum. So now if
Yeah,
I
don't
roll,
blame
you will
me.
hear
I didn't
a
have
random
enough,
noise twice.
I didn't have enough, I don't know, creativity to make anything other than that. But I think that's a fitting noise. I like it.
And then of course, 9.
It's a 9.
So
At
lower
least
than
it's
that.
not a 6.
4, 5. Got 1.
Nice.
Yay. 5, 2.
That
Really?
is the most annoying roll ever.
Let's go lower. 2, 3. Let's
You are
go.
very lucky.
2, 1. There we go higher. 2, 3.
And one more.
6, 2. Oh.
Good luck. Lower.
Do I go lower?
Go lower.
5, 4.
No.
No. At least I got to show you.
You
7.
also didn't get to show the 10 ding yet, because that hasn't come up. Oh well. Do you want to try a few more times? See if you
Like
can get
half an
to
hour
4
to get
again?
that.
Yeah, Mike.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
You know what? Maybe it's not a good idea. But the point is, I made this script at a time when I really wasn't working on anything else but this. I spent like literally the entire day on the 25th of December, was it? I think, to make that. And
This
it
is
was
so weird
really
to go with your
rewarding.
nail over this.
Yeah, don't do that much.
I'm like at the pin side.
Oh, that, okay.
I'm
What
not
was I
doing
gonna
it with
say?
the thing here.
So
I don't know.
over like
We're working
the
on this
scripts
one.
that
Oh,
we ended
shut
up
up.
making. The scripts that we ended up making, they kind of lasted until the very beginning of January, after which is when I got the cold and and stuff just started going really downhill.
So I need to disconnect the battery. Shut up!
this thing's gonna keep doing that. Speaking of disconnecting
does.
things, let's disconnect the battery, reconnect the cable, and
Do you want to
let's
show off
put
your next
one
one?
more script. Yep, I'd like to do that if you don't
Can I
mind.
explain which one that is?
Sure.
Are you okay with that? So we made a Simon for the microbit that uses the two buttons, the logo and the pins as the 4 punch. Oh my god, yours is dying. That's the
Yeah.
4 inputs you can do.
Micro::bit Python
And
editor. Micro.
It turns.
I'm not gonna
it turns
spoil
out-
what it can do because it has a lot of fun features.
Oh yeah, it
And
does.
now she might explain what that all is
Send to micro.
First,
More save,
let's
open.
in a bit when it's.
find it.
Python.
I'm
Name.
going to have to load this from the Python script because I didn't actually make a hex of it yet.
Simon.py. English open. Micro::bit Python.
Maybe you should do that so you can show how that works. Maybe.
Oh yeah, that's a good
We need it
idea.
anyway.
Cancel. Confirm. Updated file main.py.
Basically, whenever
Because you
you
should first
put a
load them.
Python script into the editor, it'll say updated file main.py. The reason why it does that is because you can technically store multiple Python files on the microbit at once to do things like import, except I don't actually know how you're supposed to use this effectively. Maybe I just haven't thought of a use case. I've thought of saving like high scores and things, but I haven't done anything like that yet. You can also not just
It's
save
impossible.
Python as files, but you can save text as well. Okay, so since I don't have this in hex form yet, let's
Project more
make
connect
one.
save.
Yes.
To do that, I'll press save.
Project save. You will find your X file. Python.microbit.org
Alexa,
wants
turn
to
the
save.
lights in garage white.
Last month. Date doodle.
Sorry,
Keep noise up a
sorry.
long time ago. Pointer up.
Wait, hold on. Where am I?
I have.
Excuse me.
Unspecified. Microbit.
That
No, I-
happens sometimes.
Don't let your headphones. Don't let your headphones fly off like last time.
No, it's not gonna happen.
For contact,
Date no items.
there's one day when we were on a call
Work
and
for the
I
day.
had
Download row 1 column 1.
need to
Unspecified.
sneeze.
Microbit. No items
But
matches.
his headphones
Today.
went. Whoa!
Yep.
I meant to.
Today.
Where?
Today. Downloads.
Hold on. I'm so confused.
Earlier this week. Not even. Dot and. Micro. Dot. Compiled.
Oh,
Simon.x. Confirm save.
yes, I'm sure I
Yes,
want
Oh,
to
that's
write.
fun, isn't that?
Projects. Downloading Simon.x. 0% remain.
And now we have a hex file. So anyone who wants
Yay.
to put the hex on can now do so. Well,
Oh!
in that case,
should
that'll be
we-
me and Yop
No,
because
never mind.
we have this thing in a Resilio sync folder
With a
Edit.
sync key.
privately.
Caps lock.
We can maybe make a read-only link.
That'd be an interesting
that'll be-
idea.
Project actions.
Now,
Set project.
let's actually
Send to
send
micro-
to microbit.
Python.micro. DPC. Micro::bit Python editor. USB device connected. Project action send to micro::bit.
And it should be working. Yep.
So
Let's
now
show
it
you how
knows
this
it's
works.
no, actually no. I will. take that.
I'll talk about it. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, it was a lifetime ago, but before I ended up putting the microbit playground script onto my microbit, this was what was on it already. If you ever heard the microbit make these beeping noises, it's because this Simon script does those. Basically, the two buttons start the two different kinds of game modes, and the logo and the pin any of the pins on the bottom. There's actually multiple, but you can touch any of the two. Actually, there's three, but it doesn't let you touch the first one for specific reasons. What was I going to say? So these two will control the speed. So you can make the speed of the game go faster or slower. The game will gradually speed up on its own with every sequence you complete. But you can make the sequences already faster by themselves by simply just touching the logo enough times.
Where is my phone? Oh.
I think my microbit just crashed or something because it literally doesn't want to respond. There we go.
Oh.
Wait, what is it? I am not touching anything. I swear my microbit is really sensitive, or it doesn't like sweat, and I'm just naturally more sweaty than Yop is with my hands or something. At the moment, it is basically unplayable. This is insane. I can barely... Basically...
You want me to help?
In a bit. I'll try first.
Okay. I need to run this anyway because my folder is quite outdated.
I'm not touching that. What is going on?
It's not doing what you wanted it to do. That's for sure.
Basically, because of the
hell?
constraints of how I have this thing programmed and how it detects input,
Oh my god,
all of the things it does are calculated once a specific input is let go of. So if I let go of the pin or the logo is when it does the beep. It doesn't do it the first time you touch it, it does it when you let go of it. That's a limitation that I can't really do much with because of, you'll see why. Let me show you. I'm going to start a game. By the way, I did put voices, like speech into this one too, but that's more of a fun thing than anything. Okay, let me show you. That is the highest tone. That's the logo. That's what happens if your microbit isn't working properly. Let's try again. That is the A button, and I can hold this for as long as I want. That's the B button. Are you... You were going the slowest you possibly could, microbit.
What the hell? Oh, your internet.
This thing's... This thing doesn't want to do what I want it to. I don't know what's up with it. My microbit just doesn't want to...
Whoa, what is it doing? Huh? My microbit is completely glitching out. Huh?
It somehow thought I was
Whoa,
touching
whoa.
one of the pins on the... What is your microbit doing?
It is showing me random ass little symbols on the screen that keep changing every second. That's not what the Simon script's supposed to... Oh my god. I also got a try again button. It's making random ass symbols that it's showing every single built-in image, I think.
What? That's
so
not
confused.
supposed to happen.
Hold on, I'm really... What are you doing, microbit? Let's try that again.
Basically what he's doing, by the way, is he is copying onto the drive. The microbit shows up as a drive, but what it does is you can only copy hex files onto it, and when you do, the hex files will end up being flashed and immediately deleted off the drive. It's
Will it
kind
work
of
this
weird
time?
the way it works. Yeah, I think it works.
Oh no, my logo
Okay,
is being annoying.
can you try to play this better than me, please? Because my microbit is having issues. So basically, the lowest note is any of the pins on the bottom. The highest note is the logo on the top, and the notes in the middle, the C and the E, are the A and B buttons.
What happened that I might fail here? Because I'm not that good at Simon.
Yellow. B, A. Oh, I actually thought it was the wrong note.
Shit! Chips. What did it just say?
It said, "You did quite well, but don't let it get to your head." So basically, if you get past, I think, was it 7 or 8 or however many points, it'll start saying different kinds of things. Me and Charizard, someone else that I think you might have seen in a couple of my really old videos from back in the day. We spent some time thinking of comments and things we could program into this. Basically, whenever you fail,
Oh, it's almost an hour.
Yeah,
Whoa.
we've been going for a long time. Every time you fail, it'll check if your score is greater than, I don't know what it was. Was it 7, 8, something like that? And if it's higher, it will use the list that gives you slightly better comments than the bad ones. I want to show you some of the really, really bad ones, though, because you didn't hear all of them, and some of them are really funny. Like, for example, let's see if I can get it to do it. It's random. Care to test your metal again? That's my favorite. Watch the sequence, copy the sequence. It's not rocket science. What's great is that phoneme code in SAM allows you to do some very fun stress, like intonation patterns that are just fun to make. There's that one. Even I, a tiny circuit board, can still defeat you.
And you can also do this. The way how I did
Yes, you
that
can.
is with the logo and the pins. You can change the speed.
It gets really fast.
Yes, oh yes. Oh god. No!
Maybe you should go a little slower next time, because there's one more thing you
maybe
can
it is
do with
actually
this that I
right.
implemented. If you don't press A, but instead you press B to start, something else happens.
Can I do that or do you want to do that?
Yeah, sure, because the
because
pins in
yours
the
is
logo
dead.
don't want to work right now.
Oh wait. Before I do that, I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. Oh wait, that was A. Oopsie. Sorry. What? Sorry, I got distracted by something that happened to mine. Basically, it will give you a random sequence every time. And a lot of sequences will just increase.
As you can hear, it's getting faster. Do do do. Do.
Shit. Sorry.
May I call that beginner's luck? That's a bit weird. I actually haven't tested to see if Sam actually spoke those things correctly yet, so that was almost the second time that I've ever heard it say it. So that's the Simon script.
And I think
to
that's,
be honest,
to me, also the video, or not?
Yeah, I think so. We've talked about a lot of things. It's really difficult. I was kind of having difficulties trying to think of how we're even going to go through this without problems. So maybe we should just stop here. But I'm guessing if you've watched this far, which by the way, if you have, you are amazing. Thank you. Anyway, if at this point you can sort of tell why I enjoy working with this so much.
Because
At
for
least I
20
think so.
euros, you can do so many things. You can take it easy, or you can go really complex. It's really, really like, you guys heard not just chip tune stuff. It's kind of like that. You can go how far you want to go.
Yeah, so
Basically.
microbit programming
That's
is
what I
my...
like.
I wouldn't necessarily call it my first step into programming, because MML kind of is like that, but it isn't anything like it. It's my first step into like really understanding how code works, and actually using it in a way that makes a coherent thing that can be enjoyed. I had so many ideas before I got this thing of how I'm going to make this and this and this, and to be quite honest with you, now that I sort of know how fragile the thing is, and how like the speech is very hard to understand and the speaker is very quiet and stuff like that, it does make things a little bit difficult. Truth be told, it does make things a bit difficult, but I personally still find it a really fun experience, and I am I kind of had the urge to make the video so that I could kind of show you guys what I've been working on, and also have Yop appear in a video again, because that hasn't happened in a long time. And also,
Last video I was in was, I think, in this setup that I randomly came in for no reason.
WarioWare.
Oh, WarioWare, I'm dumb. Yes.
You were in WarioWare, and you were
Which-
also in a couple streams too.
Yeah. Fun fact, I was really, really annoying in the earlier streams.
Yes.
I kept trying to
I
get
could
his
tell.
attention. Oh. Weird times. But okay.
So,
Whatever.
I don't know when exactly it is that I'll return to making scripts for this thing. There's one more script that I started working on. I actually spent pretty much all day December 31st working on that. Or the 30th, was it? The 30th or the 30th? I don't know. I don't even remember anymore. It's been quite a haze. But anyway, that script is in mostly playable condition, but it still, I think, could have a few extra features that I want to put into it. We'll see how that goes. And of course, it depends on even what it is that I want to make for this thing to begin with. But it really all depends on your creativity, your ways of like kind of dealing with limitations, and
a little bit of your knowledge.
Well, yeah, that too.
I guess, slightly. But the biggest part is just think, try stuff, see if it works. If it doesn't, try to go a little bit easier. If you think it's too easy, go a little bit harder. Just do what feels the
I
best
had to
for
do that
you
with
and
Simon
be
too,
creative, I
because
guess.
Originally, I had the idea of making the Simon in a way where it was going to use the accelerometer, the up, down, left, right gestures that you heard.
But that
in
didn't
the
really
gesture
came
test.
out to work the best.
No, it didn't work very well because it was really, really annoying to kind of like move the thing around, and it wouldn't detect things very quickly. I mean, it tried. It did its best, but it was just kind of slow. And provided that the pins and the logo would actually work, which on mine for right now, I don't know why, but they seem to be having issues. It's because of the sweat, I'm sure. There's no other reason why they could be acting up like that. It's these things are so sensitive, by the way, because of how thin the microbit board is. You can touch these from not just the front, but also the back too. So if you touch the
It doesn't
underside
care.
of the same part where the logo or the pins are, it'll work as well. So that's another problem. It's like it doesn't matter whether there's a tiny little bit of sweat on, like, I don't know, on either the front or the back side. It'll think that I'm touching it, and it doesn't like it. But anyway, that I think is a wrap. I'm hoping that someone has had some sort of, I don't even know what. If you managed to
Fun.
learn anything from this video, that's great. If you had fun watching us mess around, at least, that's great too. If you feel like you could maybe, I don't know, if you could see yourself doing something with this, that would be also pretty cool. As I said, the MicroPython editor has a simulator. You don't need to own a microbit to start coding something. Now, technically, I will say the inputs of how you interact with the microbit are a lot more intuitive when you have the board in your hand. Also, before I forget, as I said, there are expansions you can plug into this. Like, for example, the most common one that I see is to expand the amount of lights from a 5x5. There's like modules that'll give you multiple grids of lights, sometimes multicolored lights too, like RGB lights. You can also
On school, they had like a whole huge ass plastic plate full of a whole RGB grid. It was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
It was so big that you could actually make on a computer like colored pixel art images and project them on this plate and animate them and stuff. It was really cool.
You can also add you can add better speakers. You can add stuff that activates
A microbit gamepad, so it adds like a vibration motor, extra buttons.
Oh yeah, that. I was actually that's the one that I'm most interested in. I don't know if I'm planning on getting it like in the near future, but maybe one day I will, because it would make game design a lot easier if there was, arrow keys and 2 extra buttons. Although that
Only
would mean
thing
that if I
is-
were to make scripts with it, then that would mean that everyone would need to have one of those just to play it, which I don't know if I like that
I
very
don't
much.
like.
And if I haven't, if that isn't enough, you can also have the microbit power robotic stuff too. You can have it do like motors, servos, stuff that spins around, that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
Everything's doable using the pins on the back, apparently. I haven't seen anything that can connect to the microbit to know exactly how it works. It seems like it's a little bit difficult, but who knows, maybe one day I'll end up getting that controller-looking thing and seeing how easy it is to slot the microbit into it. Because that controller thing actually takes power away, so it has its own set of 2 AA batteries that are required for it to work, and then the battery box doesn't actually do anything anymore. Anyway, that's for later. I honestly don't know when I'll be able to return to this. I just wanted to make the video to show everyone what I've been working on, what it's like now, and how kind of more of an intellectual journey it has been. Because it's been like every time I sat down to work on something and I got something to work,
It felt so good.
I was really
I was
happy.
so happy. I can tell. It
I
was
think
really
I-
just
Job
jumping.
could
You're just
tell,
going.
yeah. Exactly,
Sort of.
I was.
Yeah.
I remember the first time the high-low script was fully finished with the score and high score and everything. That was great. That was a great time. And it's like the most basic of basic things, but the fact that I was able to do it by myself, well, about 90% of the way, was a step towards some sort of direction. Now, does this mean that I will eventually end up spending time making games for the computer? I have no idea. I don't know if I'll even have the time to do anything with it because of how busy stuff has been getting as of late. However, that was the original point. I don't know if it'll happen because honestly, I enjoy the microbit so much to where I just feel like it's one of those kinds of things that I would like to make so many more scripts for before I retire it. Because it's the exact kind of level of limitations, but also creativity that you can have with it that I like
Oh,
so
mine
much.
is still on.
Yep. By the way, if you don't specifically put anything to prevent it, the microbit will literally stay on forever unless you disconnect the batteries or you hold the reset button for a few seconds, which also means that mine's been on forever too. Let's disconnect the battery for that
Because
reason.
it'll stop.
It definitely can. I'm going to really quickly put the microbit away. It lives in this plastic bag.
Mine just lives on a random ass box with some random Nokia phones in it. Don't ask why I chose that place, but okay.
So, that was that. I hope someone has enjoyed. And there's not much else for me to say.
Rather than later.
We'll see you guys later.